today we are very most excited because we are hosting one of the most tough experienced people and upcoming politician that is going to take us through what is the current situation going on in the world. So we are hosting Dr. Abura Denis that is going to be speaking to us. So Dr. Abura Denis, you can say hi to our people.
My name's Abura Denis, and I'm from Abim. I reside in Kampala for the moment. Well, there is a range of opportunities that are available in Kampala that wouldn't necessarily be available back in Abim. Of course, when you come from Abim, you are not only looking to sort of prepare yourself forward, but you are also looking to support family members, trying to provide opportunities in order to take back skills, necessary skills, back to Abim to hopefully develop Abim. So I only associate myself as an immigrant in Kampala.
So there is a rise in political party formations in Uganda today, and last week I heard that Katumba was registering one. So are you looking forward to registering one as well?
Well, the biggest problem is the NRM. They have seen that the political landscape is changing, and it's not changing to their favor. And they decided to fragment the opposing votes and create as many political parties as possible. When NUP came on board, it had no records, no evidence of it having any constituency. You give it lots of money based on what now? NRM gave them money. You give them money based on what? You are giving it because you are forming it. It's not financing. You are forming a political party. You do the same with the FDC. You did the same with the DP, to a point of even buying away its president. You do the same with the nursery boy called Katumba as well. So you fund all of them because the opposition votes must be paralyzed. Such that if a serious party like CP, UPC come together, they will not succeed. You know, NRM are the creators of political systems here in Uganda. They are the political players themselves, and they establish parliament, as you know, and they establish the current system. They are the ones who have established the system. They have always wanted to be the control of the system. So now that they are losing control of the political system in Uganda, they created this thing of opposition political parties, knowing that they will take their money and give to whoever they want to give, and there won't be any consequences. But if a person comes and gives the genuine opposition money, you are guaranteed that all the state security operatives will be mobilized against that person. And in that way, you suppress democracy. And then you dictate through using your money as to which parties must be supported, and that undermines the will of our people. Because the will of our people can't be based on the size of the pocket of an individual. It must be based on what are these individuals offering into our society. And as far as I am concerned, our biggest problem is NRM system.
So what is your take on the corruption issues surrounding the Speaker of Parliament?
Oh, about the speaker. That's another one. You know, COVID-19 is no longer a top story in Africa today. It's now the speaker of Uganda's parliament. So she's so much addicted to cheap attention and a monster behavior. I mean, we cannot debate about this, I mean, Anita must know that she holds a senior office, an office that controls the lives of very many poor citizens of this country. Now, her behavior is not, I don't think we should even talk about Anita on this. We should not.
So let's talk about schools and hospitals in Karamoja. History says that politicians in that region don't take their children to government schools, including hospitals. Wouldn't you think it would be a good idea for them wouldn't it be a good example for them to take their children to such schools?
No. My children are not in public schools, simply because there is no public school and we cannot disagree, we cannot engage on that. NRM has collapsed all the education system, and you cannot say to me, Mr. Abura, now that you are in business, or now that I'm in parliament, I must then now go to, a public hospital that is dysfunctional. You see, you would be actually asking me to, to commit suicide. You cannot ask me to, in the name of empathy, that I should commit suicide so that I can rescue the 10% of our people. I have to be alive, brother. I have to be alive so that I can take over the government in the future and correct these hospitals. That's the point.
What is your take on the high unemployment rate in Karamoja?
There is high unemployment throughout the country, not only Karamoja. Although Karamoja is largely affected.
We all know that we have got more than 10 million Ugandans who are looking for jobs and they cannot find them. But let me give you the national characteristics of such unemployment. Let's begin with the northeastern region. Northeastern region constitute, like by themselves, we have got 65% unemployment. And then the population of Western Uganda have got about 5% unemployment, meaning that out of 10 Western Ugandans, only one is unemployed. And in terms of Central Region population, the unemployment is 15%. And the likelihood is that out of the unemployed Ugandans in the Central Region, they may be coming from a household where someone has got a job. And we cannot dispute that. So the crisis of job employment in Uganda is particularly tribalized. It is really affecting the majority of our people who come from the north and eastern Uganda. And there's nothing you can dispute about that. And this is the result of the fact that we have a social and and a tribalistic divide in our country. That is what we are dealing with. For your information, Kim. And now that that should prepare us to know what to be done now. And I am saying now, let us maybe first deal quickly with the issues that must be done. And one is that we must not adopt the new liberal pamphlet, which was produced by your Minister of Finance. It is pure nonsense, and it's going to worsen the job crisis. It's not even going to, to improve the economic growth in this country. And then two, we must reject the notion that our African brothers and sisters from Rwanda and Burundi are the cause of the structural unemployment in our country. That's not true. What we need to know is, first of all, what is the structural employment? It is the fact that our economy's architecture is designed in such a way that it's not labor absorptive. So the jobs are created in service sectors and government and domestic services, but in the critical components, which is the secondary sector, which is supposed to be manufacturing the production of goods and services, we are found wanting there, by the way. Why? Because we have got a poorly conceptualized industrial policy. The essence of Uganda's industrial policy is to say, let us go and get these foreign companies and be subsidized heavily here in Uganda. We are not building domestic industries. Yeah, we are not. You will not be dealing with industrial, with the local domestic industries. We have got a decidedly wrong trade policy. It's almost a tariff-free to import almost all the daily consumables that we use every day. The daily things that we use every day, including electronics, household, electronics, furnitures, plastic products, everything else there. If we are producing all these things ourselves, we were going to to provide for jobs. And I am saying now the state has to utilize first its procurement power to drive local industrialization. From as sophisticated things like trucks, trains, cars, the state must build domestic capacity to produce these and first consume them before we throw them into the market for daily users. That is how we shall drive industrialization and make sure that everything else that we utilize is domestically produced. The NRM manifesto says that 70% the goods that the state procures must be produced domestically. But none of its MPs have gone to Parliament with a legislative framework that seeks to deal with that question. You can't deal with unemployment without industrialization. There is no shortcut towards proper development and job creation without industrialization. But also, you must create multiple, special economic zones. In the process of dealing with the job crisis, you must establish special economic zones that are driven by inward industrialization. domestically in all parts of Uganda, so that you begin to depopulate Kampala, Mbarara, Wakiso, because the manner in which things are now. More than 90% of money exchanges and movement happens only in 3 areas of Uganda. And that is not sustainable. We need a different architecture of the economy.
So what is it different that you're going to do when you win the election?
We need to fight for the return of Farmers Union to its former glory. We need to. That's one of our fundamental, and number one, and a point that is taking us to Parliament. And then two, there is high unemployment. We need to create jobs. We need to create jobs through industrialization. We need to make sure that many manufacturing companies, as possible, are allowed to function. And we need to open new industries and protect the infant industries that create jobs to our people. Let's decentralize industrialization and incentivize those who open industries in remote areas. In that way, you create jobs for even people in the rural areas and in the urban areas. We need to fight crime. How do we fight crime? You need to liberate the generals of the police, not necessarily police from the criminal syndicate. You need to remove the leadership of the police from the payrolls of criminals. Sorry. One man once told me that people who get arrested for committing crime is because they don't commit it with the police. If you want to commit crime, you have to work with the police for you to be successful. Unfortunately, we have got a highly sophisticated and capacitated police in Uganda who cannot be defeated by anything. Once you see them not catching the suspect, you must know that somehow their leadership is involved in the crime. So where they are not involved, they execute and deliver to our people.
And how will you deal with insecurity in Karamoja?
I think for the security that is alarming in Karamoja, I think this goes back to the government. I think the department that needs to be given more funding or money, in my view, is defense and security. Far more than is always budgeted. When the money is plowed in the army, I have stated my position that there should be a compulsory military training. We should reintroduce that, and it makes our boys and perhaps our girls want to go to the army. It makes them more responsible citizens of this country. Going to the army is not just about shooting, but there is more to it. There is a self-discipline, and there is a lot of skills that people acquire in the army. So I believe that there should be more money that should be plowed into the army, and that will absorb so many of our young stars who are idling in the townships and don't have anywhere to go. And they have absolutely nowhere to go. At least we would know that as soon as they turn 18, they would be absorbed for about 2 years in the army. They would have something to do than just idling in the street and becoming victims to drugs and other social ills.
So what is it do you want the government to address particularly?
I believe in a completely non-tribalistic society. And I don't believe in, for instance, the so-called guarantee for majority rights. I believe that in our country, there shall be no majority and there shall be no minority tribe. There shall just be people. And these people shall have the same status before the law and shall have the same political rights before the law. So in that sense, it will be a completely non-tribalistic society. So the same way they were used to living under a tribalistic society, they should now then learn how to live under a non-tribalistic society. And it should be the responsibility of the government, to educate people about the dangers of tribalism in our society. My second point is school. We need quality education system in the whole of Karamoja region, the whole of Karamoja. There is no self-respecting country in the whole world which does not take education seriously. We are denied participation because we are not only an educated tribe, but also the most miseducated tribe in the whole country. If you see by far, even in parliament, they concentrate only on problems that affect people from the other regions and not Karamoja. Even when it comes to difficult questions and engagement in our parliament, they are more articulate than the average Karamojong MPs. Why? Because of their, superior trainings and because of their numbers. They could have voted us on any one issue, which meant that their political opinion would likely affect, our people. Yeah, so they are leading us in a divided struggle through participating in a tribalistic game, which is completely a new feature in the life of a Karamojong. And we are saying this is not acceptable.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but we are currently enjoying the show, and we shall only we are going to give you like 30 seconds. You tell us, what if the government does not give you ears? Are you going to pick up arms in Karamoja?
Well, I can only speak for now. I cannot speak for the future. I can only guarantee the present. I cannot guarantee the future. I am not a prophet. I am not sure if our people are not going to pick up arms in the future and try to defend our democracy. So I can only speak for now. I cannot speak for the future.
Wow, amazing. We've really had a good time with you.
Thank you.
We are so thankful that we have hosted you on our show. We really had a great time with you.
Thank you.
Just because of time that we've not had a lot of time to jazz with you. Thank you so much
for welcome.
Accepting.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
The show has been amazing.
Thank you.
So in case of any more information like this, you can reach out on our social media handles. Yes, you can have more of such information. We shall be in touch next time.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to your viewers. Thank you very much.